Breaking news. Are you serious? We are live right now here from Jerusalem. Let me just say that the Guatemala Volcano, Fuego, or Spanish for fire, has now, the death toll has risen to 70, with a little bit of conflicting reports. Some say 69, others are saying 70. Let me say that they expect many more. The threat has not gone down, but is continuing. The ash is overwhelming in some situations, and evacuations are still underway. There's a very serious situation taking place here as it relates to this volcano. We have the latest updates for you right now. Hi to everybody watching live, wherever you are around the world. And our prayer, and been praying for, of course, the people in Hawaii who are both facing catastrophes taking place here we hope our feed stays strong enough for us since we are here in Jerusalem. Good to see Wendy and Dermon, Paul and Christy, Shelley and Chris. I know it must be sometime in the middle of the night back home in Indiana and back in America. Here, the Guatemala volcanic death toll rising to 70 as new rescue workers are struggling and mud that swept down from Fuego volcano as a number of the fatalities have buried and partially buried some of the buildings. Now, structures and trees at the base of the volcano were completely coated in brown and gray ash. A policeman wearing a blue, in the picture you could see that in our thumbnail. Guatemalan Main International Airport is at 69. However, more victims that have not been identified, so the continues to rise. Matter of fact, nearly 1,000 people are in 3,000 volcano to the west of Guatemala. Earlier, bodies were pulled from the ash around the village of El Rodeo, which was hard hit by the eruption. Local media were also reporting more bodies had been found, though it was unclear whether more people died in a second eruption on Monday. And this took place on Monday morning in Guatemala local time. The task of pulling out the bodies has halted right now after the new eruption and apparent landslides on the southern slopes of the volcano has triggered fresh evacuations. So the death toll, folks, is going to continue to rise. Matter of fact, we are pulling out bodies. We are going to have to wait a half hour before we can go back in there again. A witness near the volcano said more people have been evacuated beyond 8-kilometer perimeter from the site after the latest explosion. And Guatemalan President Jimmy Morales traveled to the disaster area, spoke with distraught victims who lost relatives in the eruptions. One woman who said more than 20 of her relatives went missing in the tragedy begged President Morales to find them. The volcano, one of several active volcanoes out of 34 in Central American country, is near the colonial city of Antigua, and according to the United Nations Education and UNESCO World Heritage Site that has survived several volcanic eruptions. The latest activity is mostly on the far side of the volcano facing the Pacific Ocean. The eruption on the weekend sent columns of ash and smoke 10 kilometers into the sky, dusting several regions with ash. And a lot of photos are now starting to show flowing gas and mud sweeping down the mountainside across the very broad valley, engulfing a small village. So the landscape on the volcano is totally changed. Everything is totally destroyed, according to a government volcanologist, Gustavo Chinga, and he said this on local radio. Matter of fact, the agency also has launched an online registry for missing people. Again, I'm reporting there are 70 dead that we know of. Another 17 bodies have just been pulled from the ash in one village. There was 7 more bodies pulled at another village. None of these people have been identified yet. Plus, there are many people missing. And some of the bodies that they have recovered are charred so bad we have no idea who they are. So when we tell you that the death toll is at 70, that is the 70 that have been identified. This is a horrific situation developing. Vladimir says it is 12:42 a.m. in India right now, and so we want to say hi to him. Also, I see Danielle is here, and Prince Aqualight, Truth Seeker, Seeley, Russell, Miss Bonnie, also Bonnie McKee, and Christy, and everybody else that's gathering in. I want to say thank you guys. I know I forgot, it must be what, it's 3:13 a.m. back on the East Coast in America. We're going live right now from Jerusalem as this story is unfolding and getting worse. Hi Ziggy, how you doing? Here's what else is taking place. The agency also launched an online registry of missing people. The eruption has showered sand and ash on coffee plants across as much as 2,788 acres, including close to the volcanic cone, causing an estimated loss of 0.91% of Guatemala's coffee production. The country's national coffee association. And in some areas, rain has literally rinsed the ash off the leaves, and full extent of the damage was not yet clear, although the Coffee Association says it has done devastating effect to the coffee industry in Guatemala. This is a very tragic situation. Again, we have 70 confirmed deaths. Again, 70 confirmed deaths. Another 17 bodies pulled out of one village that have not been identified yet. Another 7 in another location. They have not been identified. And many other bodies have been pulled out of the ash and the mud and have been charred and are they're unrecognizable. So we do not know who these people are. So they're not part of the body count that is up to 70. So I mean, obviously we're pushing close now to 100 people that and no doubt many more. Gail Rogers is saying hello from Mississippi. Heidi. It's 3:16 a.m. in the morning. Okay, something like that. So people can't sleep. Bonnie says, I woke up, I can't sleep. There's a lot going on, not only in Guatemala, but of course also in Hawaii. And give you some update on what's going on there, because that continues to be a major concern. People are trapped, okay? They're literally trapped and can't get out. The roads, some of these roads have been literally destroyed. That 5.5 earthquake that hit has caused more ash. When it hit, it created an eruption again, and 8,000 feet in the air went more ash and smoke and debris. It's just really getting worse and worse. according to reports. And let me give you the latest coming out of Hawaii right now. We know that there was over a dozen people who were trapped. 3 people had to be rescued on one road because they were trying to get away. They had packed all their belongings. They were trying to drive away, but the escape route was cut off by flowing lava. The earthquakes are still rattling the summit today, right now, after a magnitude 5.5 earthquake rocked the entire area on Sunday. And Sunday's earthquake sent a plume of ash 8,000 feet into the sky, but it did not cause a tsunami, and we thank God for that. Now, that's according to the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. But there have been 500 earthquakes Sunday and into Monday, a 24-hour period there, where there were 500 earthquakes in the summit area there at the volcano in a 24-hour period. And of those 500 earthquakes, about 110 of them, because I counted them, 110 of them were 2.5 or higher. At that point, there had been 148 earthquakes 2.5 or higher in the world, and 110 of them were the volcano in Hawaii, which is what I've named the epicenter of the apocalypse. Now you have the Guatemala volcano that's killed close to 100 people, and death toll is expected to continue to rise. Lava from a fissure near the volcano at Kapoho Bay late Sunday night and Monday, forcing billowing clouds of steam steam into the atmosphere as hot lava hit the cool water of the Pacific Ocean. Now, the flow prompted warnings from Hawaii County's civil defense authorities about the laze. That is a nasty, hazy cloud of gas and of hydrochloric acid and volcanic glass particles in the air. It's terrible. Don't breathe that. Tear up your lungs, your eyes. It's lethal. Hawaii's civil defense administrators reporters say people needed to stay at least 1,000 feet back from the Bay Area to avoid the health effects from the laze in accordance with Environmental Protection Agency standards. It stings. It will irritate your eyes because it's little pieces of glass. Okay? And will have a lasting effect on your lungs. The lava has covered an area of nearly 5,000 acres, according to the Hawaii Volcano National Park. And it's described the molten lava as being like a flood pouring out, covering everything in its path. At least now 117 homes have been destroyed. That's according to CNN. I know Coach Searcher says Sunday night he was in our chat room on our live broadcast. He said that it was actually up to 200 homes that have been destroyed from this volcano that continues to release hot pouring lava at over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's no end in sight is the problem. Nearly a dozen people were stranded, cut off from all road access, all power, all water, all landline telephones, and no cell phone towers. They've all been destroyed by the lava. And basically, these people are on their own, and unless somebody can get in there and get them. Another report said there could be as many as 50 people are stranded with no escape routes left. So there were 3 people that were airlifted when they were spotted by a routine overflight plane, and then later was rescued by helicopter as they were on a road that had been cut off by the lava. And so they were able to rescue those people. They were trying to get away. They just waited too late. So it's not good. Meanwhile, 7 people have been arrested Saturday for loitering in a disaster zone. They will have to appear in court. And it's been over 4 weeks. It's passed since the first eruption rocked Hawaii's Big Island. The lava continues oozing from the volcanic fissures, burning homes to the ground, turning rivers of molten rock. And this eruption has lasted longer than the 1955 or the 1924 eruptions That's according to the U.S. Geological Survey. So, here we are. Two major disasters, both of them from volcanoes erupting, and no end in sight for either one of these volcanoes. And this is going to affect weather conditions also. This is definitely going to affect the weather conditions of the United States because, first of all, the one in Hawaii is going to affect West Coast weather. The Guatemala one may actually affect some of the weather also in the United States as winds blow north, not because of ash, but because just cooling effect. Okay, so you're going to have a change in weather conditions from both of those. Certainly, it's destroying Guatemala. Their coffee industry is going to be very much hampered. The international airport is closed, so travel has been shut down there, and many people are buried in the ash, and many are dead, and it's not over. So we're praying for everybody in Guatemala. We're praying for everybody in Hawaii, and we're continuing to lift up folks in prayer all over the world. Thank you for your kind words there. The Lord Jesus Christ said in the last days, in the book of Joel, I want to read this one passage of scripture for you, but it should help us understand this was actually prophesied to happen. What's amazing, I was up on the Mount of Olives yesterday, and I'm going to post a video for you, where I read Joel 2, and it's, to me, it's quite remarkable that the very scriptures that the Bible said things that were going to happen in the last days are happening right before our very eyes. Joel told us that we would see these events. Look at this. In Joel chapter 2, here's what he said was going to happen in the last days. If you start reading about at verse 28, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaidens in those days will I pour out my spirit. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord has said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. Pray for the people of Hawaii and pray for the people of Guatemala, and we will continue to lift them up in prayer. God bless all of you. We'll be back later today with more live broadcasting as well as YouTube videos. And it's time to get right with God is what I'm saying. It's time to give your life to Jesus Christ. Are you serious? Something biblical is going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. He certainly is coming soon. Shalom, shalom from Jerusalem.